Good morning, friends. I'm delighted that you have decided to visit today. We are going to start our day in the kitchen, and I thought it sounded good to bake something lemony. Once or twice a year, I make these delicious, buttery shortbread cookies with lemon icing. Recently, I've had a few thoughts rumbling around in my mind about homemaking. And that is the dailiness of it and how you can find beauty in the ordinary parts of homemaking. While we bake these cookies together, let's talk about finding beauty in the ordinary dailiness of homemaking. I wonder if we could go so far as to say every part of homemaking is beautiful. And I bet we could if you think about the purpose and the calling behind homemaking. Sometimes the things that we do every day can become very commonplace to us and even mundane. Dishes, laundry, cleaning, those are things that will never end, and that's okay. For the many years that I was single, sometimes I would hear women talking about how their husband would make messes, leave his shoes out, dirty clothes. But if you think about the fact that yes, laundry and dishes will never end, that is because you have a person in your life to love and to serve and to live life with. My thought would always be when I heard these conversations, oh, but you have someone. You have a family. So now that the Lord has given me a family to serve and love, when I toss that load of laundry into the washer, I think of the memories we made when we were wearing those clothes. And those memories, my friend, are beautiful. Now this shortbread dough might look a little bit crumbly to you, but since it is mostly butter, we will form it into a ball and put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to chill. With the heat of your hands, it will easily take shape. Even though the word home is very small, it has a mountain of meaning. Meaning that you and I, friend, have the single-handed opportunity to define for our families. Now that the dough has chilled, I'm rolling it out and cutting our cookies. Since these are shortbread cookies, they don't actually rise very much, if at all, so I can place them rather closely together on the cookie sheet. These lemon shortbread cookies are perfect for a summer afternoon with a cup of Earl Grey or Constant Comment. They are also wonderful for tea parties and can be made the day before. We have just enough dough left for one more full-size cookie and one special hand-patted cookie. These cookies are ready to bake, and in 13 minutes, they'll be ready to ice. This gives us just enough time to clean the kitchen and make the icing. Finding beauty in the ordinary is, at its core, a mindset game, and in practice, a simple concept to rewrite. The truth is, beauty is all around us. We simply need to retrain our thinking so we can see and create daily beauty. There are two sides to finding beauty in our daily lives. One is to look for the beauty that is already there, and the other is to create beauty. The beauty around us can be seen in simple things like a sunrise, blooming flowers, or hot, freshly iced shortbread cookies cooling on the stove, fresh linens neatly stacked in the cupboard, or an empty sink at the end of the day when all the dishes are finally done. Several ordinary things I enjoy daily are in my kitchen: the brass faucet, the blue and white platters, and the copper. Besides enjoying the everyday beauty that is around us, we also have the opportunity to create beauty. We've talked about how having a home that functions well is, in a sense, luxurious, but when it functions well and it's orderly and usable, it can bring peace of mind, and that is beautiful. On that note, I have a fabric stash that has gotten out of hand. Have you found that once the word gets out that you enjoy this craft or that hobby, then those things come your way in quantities? Such has been the case for me. I do love to sew and have a background in garment construction, which has morphed into quilting over the years. Which means I either inherited or was given a lot of fabric that isn't necessarily my style. Now that I know the kinds of fabrics that I like to quilt with, it is time to create beauty from chaos. I will reevaluate all of the projects and keep the ones that have the most meaning. I admit sometimes getting the motivation to start a project of this size is difficult, but I am so ready for a space that is accessible and inspiring for quilting. While I have enjoyed using this lovely vintage armoire, it is time for something a bit more functional. This feels amazing. I now have a big pile of fabric to give away, and I will either be selling or giving away this armoire. The fabrics that made the cut, no pun intended, have been rehomed to the guest closet. This closet is barely used, and with the fabric stored here, it is accessible and inspiring to jump into a quilting project. With the fabrics organized by project, I can now jump in whenever I have a bit of time. Tackling this big project was so worth it. Now let's add some beauty to our home with fresh, live, beautiful English ivy. Some months ago, a dear friend of mine who lives around the corner with her lovely 9 children made me this macrame plant holder and included this pretty glass pot. I knew right away when she gave it to me exactly where it would go. It's just taken me a while to get around to it. I also thought I would like to personalize it just a little bit and make the macrame holder look vintage. My idea is to take some plain Lipton tea bags, let them brew for just a few minutes on the stove, and then dip our macrame holder in and dye it. Have you ever tea stained anything? I'm curious to see how this turns out as a tea-stained macrame holder. Her handiwork is so even and tidy, it looks store-bought. I have no idea how she had time to make something so beautiful with 9 children, which makes me love it all the more. Gifts like these usually end up being some of my very favorite things. They tell a story about the people in your life, how much they love you, and all the wonderful memories that you have had together, and the times that you look forward to having in the future. The tea is brewed, and look at that beautiful color. I'm making sure every bit of the macrame holder is well dunked in the tea. Then we will strain off the tea, rinse out the extra tea from the holder, and let it dry. I don't think I've ever dyed anything before. Maybe I used raspberry tea one time to dye something a beautiful fuchsia color. I don't remember exactly. Either way, this has been a simple but fun project. This is the kind of simple project that you and I can do here and there with pockets of time that does create beauty in our homes. And I would say this one is a 3-part collaboration. The beautiful macrame holder was made by my friend. The beautiful English ivy was created by the Lord. And then my part is to put the 2 pieces together. This will be the 3rd time that I have tried English ivy in our home, and I've learned that it likes a diffused light and a little bit of water once a week. With these conditions, our hall bath seemed the perfect location. I've chosen the corner of the bathroom nearest the round window, and I think it'll add a wonderful layer with the artwork. This hall bath is very simple and flooded with light from this beautiful oval stained glass window. When we moved in, it had a blue floral wallpaper, which we removed and painted a neutral pinky beige color. At some point, far down the line, we would like to fully gut and remodel this bathroom. But until then, I'm still enjoying the light flooding in from the beautiful window and now the freshness that this English ivy is bringing. The black and white sketch I found recently at a flea market when Matt and I were taking a trip celebrating our anniversary. This sweet memory is now coupled with the gift from my friend, which will make me think of her every time I see it. I just love how this turned out, and I wouldn't mind adding a few more of these around the house. I may need to place an order. And now I'm considering rearranging the art in this corner. I thought I would share with you the other two English ivies that I've got going. This is my kitchen window where I stand for quite a long time each day, preparing and cleaning up after family meals. If there is an area like this, which I suspect might be your laundry room, where you spend a lot of time, I suggest putting some thought into making those spaces beautiful to uplift the dailiness of homemaking tasks. Friends, I hope that today's video has brought you some inspiration and some motivation to look for the beauty around you and to create beauty, to bring that joy into the dailiness of your homemaking. If you are new here, I invite you to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.